Get on your side of the road, Sarah Morris. So I had a thing happen today that makes me want to make a video. Yay for you guys. And it might be when I drink coffee. Coffee might make my brain work better. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it does. I'm trying a new thing to keep my pinky on the glass when I drink. It's really weird because naturally I go, but I'm trying to rewire my brain. So this morning, I woke up, tootled around, and got on Facebook. Mistake numero uno. And in that, there's a woman whom many of you have engaged with that had, oh, wasn't that interesting? Tagged me in another post. And so, and I like this person. Like, I don't know if I like her. I don't know if that feels true anymore. Or in general, I mean, so one of the things about me, just it's kind of a little side note, is when people are hard to love, I live in a world that I understand that means that they probably actually need you to love them a little bit more, right? Like the harder they are to love, the more they actually need to be loved. And so when somebody shows up in my world that instantly is hard to love, I like to dig in and love them anyways. And that's what I've done with this girl for years. Yeah. And many of you have reached out to me and been like, hey, so she's crazy and like she's actually borderline dangerous. Watch your interactions with her, and you know, have given me these warnings about her. And I just don't see it like that. I just see that she's extremely passionate. But like, I mean, she's called me a cunt, and I was joking with somebody today, like, that probably should have been like, you know, we're done a couple years ago. But again, it's just not how I operate. So anyway, she had tagged me in something, and I responded, and we engaged. And in engaging with her, where am I going with this story? Oh, yeah. So, in engaging with her, of course, I meet people where they're at a lot of times. That's the other part about me. I don't pretend to be some enlightened, Christ-like figure. I say fuck a lot. I call people idiots. I judge people. I mean, like, I am definitely... I drive over the vibrating line. Sometimes just because it's a vibrating line. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, German Shepherd puppies for sale. What the coffee does do is make me sidetrackable, I think. So we're engaging. She tells me to fuck off. Oh yeah, because I meet people kind of where they're at. And I'm just like, hey, you're like insufferable. Like, you are just like, oh my gosh, I just can't anymore. And so, anyways, what she did do is she ended with me pretending to be a humanitarian. Oh yeah, because she is a complete socialist. I think that she's like a member of the super duper socialist party. And so, as everybody has noticed, I think my transmission just fell out. Just kidding, but something happened. As everybody has noticed, I ride both. That's what she called me, a fence rider. Not so much. I mean, I'm pretty solid on the things I'm solid on. I just kind of understand that there's another side. And then the other part that people have a hard time with is I don't necessarily think that my side is the right side. I think everybody just has a different experience of life. So then she called me a pretend humanitarian. And that got me thinking, right? Because I'm like, I don't really pretend to be a humanitarian. I genuinely love humanity and do my best to honor people where they are and to like love them where they are, to help them when I can or when I feel called. However, here's where it gets wonky for me. So, I think a lot of people in a particular faction think that by getting people pissed off and getting them to like feel like a victim, that is serving them. And I disagree with that. 5,000 million trillion, I think gazillion, billion, million, billion, trillion, gazillion, a lot. I really disagree with that because of the fact that I am a believer in the fact that because of how I experience life, what you feel, you attract more of, right? So if you feel happy-go-lucky, if you feel whatever, you attract things that keep that feeling perpetuating. So when you have people that think that it's good to teach people how to be pissed off and feel victimized by the system, whether the system victimizes them or not. I mean, I can argue all day long about systematic racism. I absolutely understand that it is a thing. I don't deny that at all. However, where it changes for me is I think the way that you empower people is by lifting them up, right? And so to me, and there are going to be people that the next thing I say out of my mouth is going to frazzle your bedazzle. Your head is probably going to explode. I know it's going to, because I can feel that my head's going to explode even thinking about what I'm just getting ready to say. So I'm just giving you, prepare yourself, maybe put on a hat, hold your head. Where I think it's beneficial is to teach people to be grateful for what they do have. I know, and I don't mean like, and I know that a lot of people are going to jump to a thing of like, that's not, like I said, I'm sure the brains are oozing out of their ears. That was disgusting. But what I'm saying is, if people can sit in gratitude, right? Like, one of my favorite sayings is, I once felt bad for the man with no shoes until I met the man with no feet, right? And so what that says is that man with no shoes, even though he may be oppressed, and even though in my opinion everybody deserves to have fucking shoes, and everybody, but what it comes down to is being grateful for those shoes, or being grateful, for the feet, right? Like, because some people don't even have those. I just messed that analogy up, kind of, but if you're tracking with me, you see what I'm going. Like, be grateful you have feet, even though you don't have shoes to put on them. And then I honestly believe, and I know people aren't going to like this either. It's so funny because people just don't like everything. Like, anything I could say, there honestly is somebody that would argue it. I promise you that. Once you sit in gratitude and you bask in gratitude, then more things show up to make you grateful, right? Like, wouldn't that be a trip? Here's what I'm going to say. Wouldn't that be a trip if that's how it worked? Right? I obviously believe that's how it works, but I know a lot of people aren't, and they fight against that, and that's okay too. And I know there's this irony of like, because I sometimes talk about people who are married to their beliefs and me, and I'm blah, blah, blah. And then I'm married to beliefs too, right? Like there's stuff I'm definitely married to. That's one of the things, right? Is that I know from experience that in the shittiest, terriblest of times, when I look for that thing to be grateful for, everything changes. And I'm not saying that people who find themselves oppressed and impoverished or in accidents or terrible things, I'm not saying that, oh, well, that's what you get because you weren't grateful. Nothing like that. So please don't spin it. I mean, I guess the beauty is like, okay, or do, if you want to. If you feel like you want to spin it, I guess spin it. It just makes me sad, right? That there's people that like, So, anyways, that's where I was going. And I blocked that girl today. And that's not my, I don't know, that's just not my MO usually. But it got to the point that she just was bringing no good to me. You know, because normally a lot of times when I like battle with somebody or I have a hard time with them or that, like, there's balance, right? So like, while we may battle about this, we see eye to eye on that, or like I just know and I love the person, so the battling really is just silly political stuff that's not worth not loving somebody over. But when it gets to the point that you represent, I don't know, I probably shouldn't have blocked her, but what I noticed is like she got it on me. You know, like she's very strong energy. She has a very big energy, and when she bleh, it gets on you, and you're like, oh God, get off of me. Ugh. And so then I just realized, like, that's what she does. She does that on a lot of posts, like. It's so rude that I chew on ice while I talk. I almost choked. But that's what she does. She never shows up with anything good. She just shows up on posts and blasts all over my friends and blasts all over me, and like she's just it's just vileness, you know, and it's hard for me because I have to look at it and go, okay. So I was joking, not joking, but like I said to a friend today, like, that it's awesome because I'm getting to experience what at one time I'm sure maybe it felt like to be on the other side of me. Like I definitely was one of those, like, if you don't see it my way, you're wrong. You know, and like, if you're not with me, you're against me. Let's fight about everything. I mean, I think I've been there, and I'm sorry to anybody who I've ever all over. Okay, that's all I got. Oh shit, 13 minutes. God, Sarah. I hope everybody is enjoying this beautiful day, and I will talk to you later.